Welcome to Unsung Heroes, everybody. My name is Cynthia.
Oh, my name's Chris, and I've just brought our thing up on Facebook to then post it and say we're going live now, and then the sound was working, so I panicked for a second then.
Okay. Well, no panicking allowed. How are you, Chris?
Oh, I'm good. And you know what I haven't got ready?
What?
The only thing that I haven't got ready is the first thing that we talk about. Oh, God.
You don't have shower thoughts?
I do, but I haven't got them ready, and I usually have them ready on my screen, ready to go. Oh.
Uh-oh. All right. So this is going to be a very ad-libbed show, which is great. I love the ad-libbing part of whatever we do. But before we get into ad-libbing, we must say something that is not ad-libbed. We must say to our audience, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Please follow us. Click on all of the subscribe buttons, the likes, the follows, the slightly fondle, the lightly press, whatever you want to do with your buttons. Do it on TETV. So please tell us where you're calling in from or tuning in from in the comment section. I'd love to see where y'all are from. And that's it. We have a really cool guest on. His name is Sven Riegel. And he's a German designer, creator, themed guy galore. We love him. And there we go. Chris.
Okay. That's fine. I've got my shower thoughts open, so we're good.
Okay, go for it. What is your shower thought of the day?
It's going to be interesting. There's always one that's kind of a little bit on the edge, and it's not bad.
The on the edge ones, but we'll smooth into it. We'll go on to the edge on the second.
Okay. Well, like, you know how, I don't know if it was the same when you were at school, but when I was at school and I was late for, like, we had registration first thing in our tutor group, and you'd had to be there for them to tick you and say that you're in the building for like the fire register and the rest of it. And you got mercilessly punished if you were late for that. But then when I went to college and I owned my own car and I was responsible for my own timekeeping, nobody cared. Oh, Chris is rocked up an hour late for this lesson. There's 10 minutes left. And I'm just like, I just sat down with my bag. I'm like, I'm here. Mark me on the thing. I'm actually here. So why is it fair to punish really small children that are not in control of their own timekeeping for being late when an almost adult/adult can just do whatever they want? And even now, professionally, traffic. I mean, I always make sure that I'm pretty much early for a meeting because of that reason. I don't like being late, but you get the people walking in like half hour late. Like my brother, he turns up for family events like 4 hours late, and we call it Tilly time. It's a joke now. It's like, be late. Why can't you be on time? But why do children get punished for it?
What did you call me? Because I'm always late for the meetings that we have. Eternally late Cynthia or something like that. Anyway,
like that. It might have been a bit ruder.
Yeah, now you know that I'm sometimes I'm late.
Ish.
And my kids, I would drop them off at school sometimes late, and my kids they hated being late. Oh my God, they hated being late. But they got used to it, and they used to just tell their teachers when they would get in trouble for being late. They just tell their teachers, punish my mom.
My teachers would say, your parents run their own business. Likely story that they'd be late. I'm like, but they are. It's not my fault.
Exactly. It's because we run our own business that we have clients that call us 5 minutes before we're supposed to leave for school and ask us to do something that's really important. And we can't tell our clients no. And so, yeah, our clients go first and our kids can be late to school. Damn it. It's okay. It's not the end of the goddamn world. Hello. Anyway, I'm going to go on my rant. I'm going to go on my rant about schools and teachers and how they don't have any clue about what life is like in the real fucking world with real jobs. Anyway. I am taking a Valium.
You need to take one. Oh, it's that way.
No, it's not true. That's not nice. It's not true that all teachers have no clue what it's like in the real world with real jobs. It's not true. Because I have run into very many, a lot of teachers that totally understood. And I only ran into a few teachers that were just so, oh my God, beside the point of everything in my reality. And so, yeah, the majority understand. But it's always the small majority, the small minority, I mean, that just drive you crazy.
Always it's the small minority that ruin it for everyone else, because there's always someone that doesn't get it. Whatever it is, there's always someone that just likes to piss on the parade.
Yes, piss on the parade. Party poopers, ruiners. Yes, Kelly, you're right. So annoying. So annoying. So before we get to your second shower thought, we have an audit. Oh my God, I can't speak anymore. We have a listener from Germany. Hello, whatever your name is, Tist. Welcome. My favorite German word is genau. I love genau. I don't know what that means. It means exactly. It means yes, I agree. It's like genau, and you can do it in like different sauces. Like you can do genau. It's like the French putain. It's the French putain. You can say, you know how I always teach everyone. I remember teaching someone that I'm not going to go there. I remember teaching an American how to say putain, and it's just the most wonderful thing in the world. Hi, Timo. Genau, my name is Timo. Anyway, so hello, everyone. Second shower thought. Chris, give it to me.
So, you get like the bulk buy superstores, like Costco, to name one, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And everything comes in like bulk when you're buying it. And when you would buy that in a superstore, it's called like a family pack, isn't it? You get like a family pack of like bog rolls or toilet tissue or whatever you want to call it. And that's called a family pack.
I can see where you're going with this.
When you go to like Costco and you buy condoms, is that an anti-family pack? Or is that just... And my question, because I always have a questiony one. Are we done? I think I broke Cynthia.
Oh,
you good?
Go ahead.
So I've got a questiony one, as I always have a questiony one. When someone has any form of like silicone implant, when they die, does that get taken out, or do they just like rot with some like silicone bags on their chest forever in the coffin? Should we bring on our guests, and I'll talk to our guests whilst that we fix Cynthia?
Becca. So Becca has commented. Sarah, can you bring up Becca's comment? I knew where he was going exactly, and that is exactly where he was going. I just had so many like images come up to my head, and I'm hoping that I'm really hoping that someone knows Costco and can actually tell us whether on the condoms they have family pack or not. Because, like, seriously, that would be so
because
funny.
they can't have like a tagline like Durex fun for all the family, because where is that going?
Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that would be so funny. Anyway, someone from the US, I hope if you're listening, please go to Costco. Please go buy. Take a picture of the family size condoms.
Producer Kelly says it's called the University Pack.
Oh my goodness. So let's bring Sven on. Sven,
No more talk.
come join us. Everyone, all of our unsung heroes that are listening, join us in welcoming our unsung hero of the week, Sven.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sven.
Here he is.
Hello.
Welcome to the fun house.
Yes, and luckily I can't answer this question because I never entered a Costco.
There we go. I was trying to get that one out of the way, but we came back to it. I'm sorry, Sven.
Yeah.
When we started in the snap.
Costco is actually very. It's culturally so significant. I mean, I left the U.S. before Costco was this big thing. And so when I came back to the US, I really wanted to go see a Costco. And I was amazed. I mean, it is amazing. And along the condoms line, I have a friend who, so I was at her house. I was visiting her house, and I was on vacation. So it was in Florida, and I had my period and I was not prepared. And I said, okay, I have to go to, well, these things happen. All right. Women, have their periods. Oh, come on. Now be happy that I did not say what I was about to say. I'm being a good girl. So I said, I have to go to the drugstore to get some stuff. And she was like, oh no, I go to Costco. I've got so much. She showed me in her basement the stock of tampons and pads that she had. I mean, just like a fucking box, like, I don't know, a meter wide and a cubic meter of tampons. You just like, what the hell? Why? But anyway,
I really think it's kind of more a cultural thing. I mean, I moved to the US, right, like 2018. And for me, even in Germany or in my previous years in other countries, I never came in touch with those gigantic supermarkets. And for me personally, all the time it's overwhelming. So I really can't enter a Walmart or this Costco thing. It's like too big. I'm a Whole Foods person, kind of. Maybe Lidl, Aldi, or whatever is in the US. But Walmart is like freaking me out. First of all, it's so huge. Then also, well, every time I'm getting in and getting out, it's like going through a security check at the airport because they're checking what do I have in my basket, and I can't deal with that. So I want to have a smooth experience, and here we go.
I can't either. They're too bad, and I don't agree with buying steaks and guns in the same building.
Yeah. So I come from California. So I grew up in California. Number one, we didn't have any Walmarts when I grew up. And I am flabbergasted with that in in a Walmart, you can go to the gun aisle and buy a gun. And then you go to the kiddie toy area. You can buy your kids some toys. And then you can go buy a piece of meat because you're hungry. Wow. Just incredible. I mean, it is really amazing. But what were you saying? What was your... Thank you, Timothy. You're a wonderful person too.
Greetings to the UAE. Must be late at night, right?
Oh yeah.
Warm, though.
Please, all of you that have joined, tell us where you're calling in from.
And also like, subscribe, and slightly fondle all of those necessary buttons.
Yes. We like it when people press our buttons.
Somewhere down below, right? Where there. Subscribe,
No
right?
idea where it is.
Depends on which platform you're watching from. And I haven't set up my Twitch stream to mirror this one either today, because I am behind schedule. But anyway, intro conversations have been had, but what we don't know is much about Sven. So Sven, can you please tell us all about you and introduce yourself to our wonderful watchers and people?
Sure. So my name is Sven Riegel. I consider myself an experienced creator, also art director, actually a lot that I'm doing, and specialized in themed entertainment, themed environments, museums, exhibitions, hospitality, retail. There's a lot on my list, food and beverage also, but this is kind of now the age where everything in our experience entertainment industry is kind of merging and coming closer together. So I really take a look on everything. So I don't really put myself a limit, because in all the fields that I literally kind of said before, I already worked, brought some projects alive around the globe. So, and also to tell a little bit about my past, I have been working for Universal Creative the past 3.5 years. I ended my employment there because I was working on Epic Universe, and as we all know, this beautiful project kind of made a pause. I'm very happy that it's coming back. So for our industry, I think it's something really cool. And before that, in Orlando, I worked in Universal Studios Japan, kind of brought 2 attractions with the Illumination Entertainment IP alive, and did also some other stuff, which was also very cool. And of course, I can't talk about. And before that, I also was in UAE, like Ferrari World Abu Dhabi. I would also call a little bit my home. There's like one of my big babies, which is not open yet, but also I helped like bringing alive Flying Aces or Benno's Great Race, like a roller coaster and a dark ride. So I have been around a lot.
I could
But
talk
we're
to
not
you
talking about family pack condoms at Costco.
No, we're not. We're talking about how wonderful Abu Dhabi is, and I could literally chat to you for about a week on how much I love Abu Dhabi, and specifically Heroes Bar in the Crown Plaza on Hamdan Street, not the one on Yas Island, the one in the main city, because the band in there are epic, and I love them all dearly, and I miss them. I've been working in and out of Abu Dhabi for about 7 years now, and they're my friends out there.
That's my goal. I want to go there because I have never, ever been to the Middle East, period. I've never been. So I really want to go. Oh, I have been to Jordan.
That's the Middle East.
I know.
Well, I mean, you are American. Have you seen that thing where it's on YouTube or like TikTok and that, where they're just asking people in the street, can you point out what this country is? And they can't.
You mean their own country?
Yeah, like any country. And what they've done is they've literally moved the map as we all know it and centered it on the either the States or on Africa. And they're like, can you name any country? And they'll point out the USA and be like, what about this country? And they're like, China? And I'm like, what? What's going on?
I think the interesting fact about this, and this is also something that I learned when I moved around the globe, then if you're living or working in a specific area, the map where you are living is shown like this as a center and everything around it. So you will kind of throw other people off if you're, for example, show someone in the US a map from Europe, where Europe is quite in the center. I can understand, but I mean, maybe also I'm a very visual person who kind of remember the outlines of each and every country or continent to kind of remember. But for some, I believe it can throw them off.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, even I, when I was a kid, I would come to, when I was like, I remember saying when I was like 6 or 7, people would ask me where I went on vacation. My parents are French, so I used to come to France on vacation very often. And I remember telling them I went to Europe, but I'd only gone to France. But for me, Europe was like the United States, and France was like a state in Europe.
You're smarter than a 10-year-old, and they're like, "What's like?" It was like, what country is Budapest the capital of? And they're like, I don't know where that is. And they're like, it's in Europe. And she says, like, I thought Europe is the country.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah. Well, I was 6 or 7 when I believed that, but
that's allowable.
Yeah, but I remember also looking at a map and not seeing the US in the middle was like, oh well, of course they do it that way, I mean, and then in France or in Europe, the week starts on Monday, whereas in the US the week starts on Sunday, and that's a clusterfuck when you're looking at calendars. Anyway, but yeah,
weekend being Friday, Saturday, and it used to be Thursday, Friday as well. So,
it's so annoying. It's so annoying. But I mean, the more that people travel, I think honestly, traveling is the only way we can ensure world peace. If everyone just traveled to other countries, I honestly think that we would all have this so much more respect for one another, and just like the simple knowledge of my values are not universal values, and universal values just honestly don't exist. And that's hard to grasp when you've never traveled before. But anyway.
Try hard, be kind. That's it. Try hard, be kind.
Yes, exactly. And travel. So Sven, what got you to get into this industry? I mean, what brought you as a child? What was going on through your head?
Quite a lot, I guess. Quite a lot. If I just remember back, I mean, it was like yesterday. No, but I think, or why I'm also in this industry, because I came passionate about this and gained a lot of interest in this theme park or amusement parks. And I really remember when I was like around 6, I visited my first amusement park in the middle of Germany, and I really enjoyed it. And I put this thought in my head that I want to work one day in this industry. Of course, I didn't plan it, or like I want to become a designer, I want to become an engineer. I mean, at some point, I really thought I would become a roller coaster engineer to design like crazy roller coasters. But my math level is not that great in terms of engineering. That's why, of course, I got an architect, because, well, who needs numbers? No, but yeah, so this got me in the very first beginning, and then because I was living in the west part of Germany, where we have like parks like Phantasialand, and during this time Warner Brothers Movie World in Bottrop opened. So those were things that I remember in my childhood, places that we visit, which influenced me in a big way, which inspired me and wanted to kind of work in this industry in a way. And I was very young and I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So all along on my career path also, I took several routes in a way, and maybe this is kind of getting a little bit off the rails in terms of the theme parks, but I also stepped into the entertainment industry when I was like, around 12 or 10, which also, because I like to be sometimes a showman, I was actually starting Irish dancing. Yes, everybody can say a German doing Irish dancing. I know there's all the time this big discussion. I know there was a big discussion for Michael Flatley because he's from America and now he's doing river dance, a lot of the dance, but he's not Irish. He cannot do this. But yeah, I felt in love with that. I was actually also touring around in Europe a little bit because I was on a tour there, several tours actually, which I also choreographed and also gave my creative input in. And also I actually started my own dance school when I was pretty young. So I got pretty independent and had to start to organize my life. But it was such a wonderful experience because first of all, I also kind of looked behind backstage. So because even if I was doing a dancer, I had my hands on everything that was in regards of the production. Most of the time in our shows, in the background, we had media running. So literally I was also doing the media. We also, of course, had music that is running. I was also cutting the music for those shows and even giving those guys at the mixer kind of instructions how the light should be. Now you ask yourself, oh, Sven, he's dancing on the stage. How can he go to the mixer? Well, of course, something we put in words and give it to the guys to at least kind of catch the mood. But this was for me a wonderful experience because it was like entertaining on stage. I had so much fun to really enjoy myself. And I mean, Irish dancing, whoever knows, is so energetic, so enjoyable. People like it a lot. And with all the touring, it was really something that I really enjoyed. And so this, when people ask me like how long are you in this industry, I actually also calculate this time in, and it was like 15 years of me being on stage, me choreographing and producing some shows.
Wow, that's incredible.
Did we get a video of this?
I guess
do we have a video of him dancing?
I thought we did. Do we? I should have asked that. We do.
Yeah.
Ha-ha!
We do.
Yeah.
We want the video. We want the video. Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
I love the dancing head.
Yes.
whoever was dancing in the shadows, and that was funny.
Yeah, I think a little. I mean, like I said, this music is so lively, so energetic. It kind of lifts those people out of the chair and they want to dance. I mean, even I was like dancing with my feet underneath the table and with my fingers. So there's still something in my DNA from the past. But yeah, I found this clip on my computer. It was from 2009 and from one of our tours. This was the finale, and it's always energetic and like they want more. Of course, all the time they want more. Of course, we planned something more. I also remember there was one thing where they even want more than more, and we had to do one more. And you can't believe. I mean, this is kind of a lot of sport, I mean, physical activation. So we were a little bit exhausted at the end, but it's so much fun.
Worth it.
That's
Would you say
incredible.
worth it? Surely you would say worth it.
Yes. And also, I mean, during this time, I was or had the opportunity to actually go to Ireland to do there an exchange year. And so I also learned from some of the greatest Irish dancers over there. But I also, during my time being an Irish dancer, I was able to actually meet and to learn something from like big names in this kind of group or industry, which were dancing with river dance or a lot of the dance. And actually one time also I was on stage with Gale Force Dance, which is like a minor show, but also quite huge. So whoever wants to check out more, just type in my full name plus Irish Dance on YouTube. You might find some videos.
Okay, I will be snoping around to find some dancing videos.
Yes.
So I think definitely find some videos.
Yeah, I think Kelly has already checked you out on YouTube.
Most likely. If not, maybe I showed it to her in the office in Orlando. Could be. I can't remember. But yeah, very easy for all the viewers to kind of check this out. And yeah, like I said, it was a wonderful time. And after this, I kind of jumped into my university. Well, no, university kind of was in parallel, I should say. So it was dancing and studying. And as I mentioned before, I studied architecture. I wanted to do something that is kind of technical, but also artistic. And I think architecture is the right way to kind of gain this knowledge. And I really learned it. And I also don't regret that I was doing architecture because it helped me on all the projects that came afterwards that I helped to bring alive. So, but also during the university time, my thought to go back, well, not go back, but go into the theme park industry kind of gained more and more. There was like a time maybe during the Irish dancing where I lost not the interest, but kind of looking for it because I was so deep into the Irish dancing that I didn't really had an eye for the theme park. But then, of course, when you finish or graduate after this, you are looking, what will you do, right? And so I remember even 2009, there was the European attraction show in Berlin. And so we had a presentation in my university, and they didn't want to take our group first, of course not. So I was like, oh, I want to present that damn thing, and I want to go to the fair to check it out. And well, after a while, we had our presentation, and I was running over to the fair and or exhibition. And then I literally introduced myself and went to all the companies who are doing design, right, to do an internship. Well, I was so not prepared for anything because I didn't have a portfolio, I didn't have a card. So there's this one gentleman from Germany who has a big dream, who wants to work in the theme park industry, who wants to design theme parks, kind of introducing themselves to all those companies. And well, of course, I figured out afterwards, because I didn't have anything to show, like the interest was kind of minor in a way. But then I had the opportunity. One company came to me and asked me actually if I want to work for them full time because they're starting from zero and wanted to grow and become the next big company on the European continent. So this was with Garmisch Consulting Group, which was led by Victor Cavalier. He also previously worked in Thinkwell. And so we started really together with the CEO from TEA, this little group, Garmisch Consulting Group. I really remember we were sitting on a table, just three of us. I mean, a beautiful setting, because we were living like in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Who don't know this location? It's south of Germany, right in the middle of the Alps, next to the highest mountain in Germany. And so we had a wonderful environment around us, which is, for creativity, I mean, one of the best things that can happen to you, right? A lot of forest green, big mountains. So we were creating stuff, and from there it literally took off very quickly. I mean, I slipped into the role of an art director right away to manage some of the projects, and I was helping with some projects for Mirabilandia, for example, in Italy, but also Merlin Entertainments. Like I was doing Sea Life aquarium in Istanbul. This was like my second biggest thing that I really had to were in charge on my own and bring it with a team around me to life. So it really started great. And after this, and many more projects, which I mean, the project list is so long because it was very small projects, medium scale projects. But then the next big thing was really like Ferrari World that happened, to go to Abu Dhabi. And I stayed there for 2.5 years with a little bit breaks in between in some of those hotels near the Crown Plaza, but not the one in where you, Chris, maybe were. I was on Yas Island. So I became a nomad. Is that the right term? No, I don't know. Someone who's living in the hotel, and but I enjoyed it, so I didn't mind it, because hotels in UAE, right? I mean, if they're called like 3 stars, it means they're feeling like 4 stars. So that was really kind of a benefit. And then I really had the wonderful time that Ferrari World to create some of or one of the biggest attraction, which is not open yet, unfortunately, which called Mission Ferrari, special effects coaster from Dynamic Attractions. And I really had the opportunity there to work with George Walker, very good friend of mine, to create that thing, and some other team members from our Garmisch Consulting Group. And I hope sooner or later, hopefully this year, we don't know, this attraction will come alive, because I cannot talk too much about it, what's going on the inside. We only have sneak peeks from the outside, and it already looks very interesting. From the news, what I read is like that it's doing some testing, so which is positive, right? So we only can wait to get this ride come along. And it was really wonderful experience for me to really design it, also to coordinate a lot. I mean, the amount of facility coordination, and this is where my architecture came in handy, was so intense. I mean, I have drawings where we have a lot of steel coming from floor and ceiling, which is like enormous. And it was a challenge, but a good challenge and a learning curve for me. And besides like Mission Ferrari and Ferrari World, as I mentioned before, I was also helping on Benno's Great Race, which is like the interactive dark ride with ride vehicles from ETF, but also the interactive audio visual from Altaface, and then Flying Aces, which is a wing coaster from Intamin, with a wonderful queue line where we tell the story of Francesco Baracca. I hope I pronounce it right. He's Italian, so excuse me. So so this was a wonderful time, and also I I assume, and I guess my biggest learning curve, because I took so many things away that I learned, because like one of my mottos is that everything that I learned, we learn from mistakes, right? Something that we don't want to apply in the future. And this is could be advice for some of our youngsters that, there's a certain learning curves, and we should also make mistakes, because only from mistakes we can learn. And so, but for me, it was a great experience.
So
What
we
was
have to
your
ask-
what was
Cynthia.
your like the worst mistake you made that you learned the most from?
Oh, no, that's now a good question. I really can't remember. Well, yes, it's more a general one. And this applies to all the projects that comes also afterwards. One learning is that coordination and communication are key for a successful project. Because if you don't communicate all the ideas to whoever is on board, I sometimes compare it like when we do a project or design something, kind of putting all the packages together. I'm kind of thinking it's like an IKEA manual, right? That I share with the whole team. And everybody wants to be or should be on the same page, not once, but should be on the same page. So this is all the time my goal that I put myself after this learning, that I want to prepare those packages and inform everyone on the project team where we are and what the goal is for this project.
And you learned that through a big mistake where it didn't go like that. Don't we all always learn that way?
Well, you've worked in like so many places around the world, Sven. Like, what was the most challenging environment that you had to work in?
I actually would think it's the UAE. That was challenging in many ways. But for me, not like in a negative way, but more in a challenging way. So, like I said, it maybe goes hand in hand with the learning that I said, the communication and coordination. But also, I think with the UAE, you had such a diverse team and different cultures coming together from all around the globe, which I never experienced before, not really in Europe, but also not really in the US. But there, you really had so many different people from around the globe that you need to communicate and coordinate. And of course, me as a creative, I have a creative vision. Then explaining it to someone with a different cultural background or other background, it's kind of difficult. And I think to find the right language or the same language, so everybody is on the same page, what we are heading for, this is, that's challenging. And so in UAE, I really learned this. And like I said, I took it, saved it here in my mind, and hopefully for everything that comes in the future to kind of make sure to set up a project that it will be successful in those ways to communicate with the whole team.
I think that's the wonder of working in the UAE as well, because when it's like through Europe especially, it's like you're always a guest in someone else's country, and then those people are most like culturally there's more of them than you, so you just try to learn from their culture a little bit, and it's only a little bit different from yours. But then when you're in the Emirates, and then you can have anyone from Europe, anyone from the Far East, anyone, but it seems to be like a hub at the moment, anyone from anywhere can end up there. And you all you've got in common is the understanding of this project. And it's so culturally binding that no matter where anyone's from, what any of their ideology is, what religion they are, what gender they are, what sexuality they are, everyone just is like, it doesn't matter, because that's all could end up being argumentative. We're just here for, let's get this done, and let's get it done to the best of everyone's ability. That's why I love working in the UAE. Just a little caveat there.
Yes. Well, Cynthia still need to gain this experience, I guess, from UAE.
I do.
Learn
It is
Arabic and
definitely on my
translate,
list.
and off you go.
Well,
Yes.
you know, it's on my list. I mean, you know, next year I'm going to Latin America to visit the experiences there. And if I enjoy this traveling thing that I'm going to be doing, I think that the Middle East and is going to be on my list of places to visit and just check out, because it really is everything. Everyone that has talked to me about Abu Dhabi, and I mean, just that whole region it's intriguing to me. Culturally, it's something that just amazes me. I mean, it's intriguing. So I definitely will go and see for myself all of these places. I do think that it's incredible.
I mean, it's
Sven, yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting place also in terms of, well, now at summertime, how it's getting hot, and how culturally also the UAE kind of the behavior. So for me, all the time when I was in UAE, and maybe you share the same experience, like culturally, of course, there's like a lot of from the Arabics, but also for me, like with all the themed entertainment that's coming there, I had a feeling they're building up a new kind of subject or thing for culture, and this is like themed entertainment there. So like cinemas, amusement parks, and so on are becoming a thing, to kind of a place where people are meet, come together. And it was always kind of very interesting for me how the UAE is kind of shaping their country, or maybe culture, if I can say culture. I don't know. For me, it felt like this way, but it's a very interesting country.
Mm.
Well, it's on my list. Definitely on my list. Probably my list for 2023. But I did want to ask you, Sven, when you start up a new project, I mean, when we have a new project, we're always really excited about it. But what gets you the most excited about a brand new project? What is it that gets your ticker ticking?
Oh, well, I think the excitement, first of all, that there's a new project, right? Maybe it's something speaking out during this pandemic. Yay! But yes, but no, I'm not thinking like this. But for me, I think the exciting thing is really to create something new, to come up with ideas. And I really also enjoy to work with the team. So, for example, if we are going into the blue sky phase, or really putting those brainstorming charades or whatsoever, I really like to bring all the team on board, and really try to create new things, putting new ideas on the table. And this is getting me exciting. And then on top, if it's like a new world or land or a new attraction, which is super cool or super exciting, it will be super exciting for me personally. So that's something I'm looking forward. And of course, like working with an awesome team that really knows what to do and bringing this thing alive. So yeah.
You're going to be touting for work from Sven in the near future then.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That was being naughty. Hush now. Hush. Bad Chris. So do you have, being, as you've said a number of times, that your mind is exceptionally creative, is there a dream project that you spend your nights and dreams adding to and dreaming up? Do you have a dream project? Can such a thing exist?
I mean, certainly. I mean, my head, if I should draw a picture, is like, do you know this emoji where the head explodes?
Yeah.
This is something you should picture right now here, because this is how my head is. It's like in all different directions. I have so many ideas, and if it's like about like a dream or whatsoever, I mean, I have many dreams. Well, one dream, for example, I really would like to support one day a local park here, which is called Phantasialand, because it's like my home park in a way. So I'm connected to it. I really like what they pulled off in the past few years, including Terran. I cannot say too much about Rookburg because I haven't been. When I returned from the US, it was closed, and then I never had a chance to go there. But it's open right now, so I'm really looking forward to this. So yeah, this is like one dream, like to work for a local, but really also creating awesome experiences in many directions. If it's like an attraction, if it's like a retail experience, for example, retail, that's something that gets me also very much excited, especially after maybe not a lot of people will know this, only like from the US, like Universal is doing a lot of pop-up stores, and during my time they opened the Halloween store for the Halloween event. And this was literally a walkthrough attraction with very strategically placed shelves to pick some stuff, to wander around through 3 different themed spaces. At the end, you will come to a cashier, and it was like a walkthrough attraction. And I was like, well, if this is the future of retail, then please sign me up, because those are the stores that we really need. I mean, there's desperately, I'm not quite sure how it's in your country or all the others, but in Germany, there's like a lot of, after the pandemic, the e-commerce kind of gained a lot. And so our inner cities are about to die. And so they're looking for fresh new concepts. And I'm like, well, if you have the, and excuse my language, the balls to kind of pull out those experiences in regard of making the retail an experience, either it's a walkthrough or whatsoever, to make it something really special and unique, and also that you want to come back. This could be successful also for the future. I mean, I heard about several concepts. For example, it's more kind of an outdoor sport thingy where it's about like selecting a jacket or whatsoever, and you can then go into a room where it's raining, where it's windy, where it's super cold, to kind of experience how it would feel to pull on this jacket. But then also you can select your jacket in the size you want, and they will ship it to you at the end of the experience. And I think this is something pretty exciting also, that at least for me, that's my feeling, that retail and food and beverage becomes a very important key element within a theme park also more and more. I remember like when I was a child, it was like this kind of fast food stuff that you can buy and then kind of pick and eat. But now it's like the dining experience, right? You sit down, meet a character, or you maybe in a whole different place. So I think this has a lot of potential for the future, either in a theme park, but also in a city. So yes.
Yeah, have you ever visited Mapic or Leisure Up at Mapic?
I just heard about it yesterday, and so I will put it on my list to visit it, because I know that's the place I should visit.
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, there's this they're really, so Mapic, for those of you that don't know, is oh my God, it's like pretty much the shopping center mecca that's held in France and in Cannes. So it's kind of nice to go there.
Excuses.
And excuses. And there's a whole section of that trade show that is called Leisure Up, and it's right before the Mapic show. And some TEA members are very, very active in the conference program there. And it's just really, really interesting. I mean, Raven Sun Creative, Louis Fieri, if he's listening, they are really, really active with them. Do you know Louis?
Yes, we talked several times. So yes,
Okay, so
just saying hello.
hey, Louis. Shout out to Louis from Raven Sun Creative. Yeah, and so it's like this whole world where themed entertainment is, I mean, we see, coming from themed entertainment, we totally see the interest. I mean, why shopping centers should be interested in themed environments and themed experiences in their shopping mall experiences themselves. And they are just turning the corner to actually realizing it themselves. And it's like this untapped industry where everything is to be done. And what's great is that there's money and people have a budget to do some crazy stuff. And it's really, really interesting. It's a really interesting time.
Well, it's the mall is going to change, I think, in the near future, from being a place of shopping to being one giant family entertainment center with shops as we know them, but it's going to be not just your usual restaurants and the restaurant area or whatever, and it's all fast food. I can see more themed restaurant experiences, and that takes an army of a village of people. We keep saying in Better Together, it takes a village of people to make any project happen. And yes, okay, it makes them a little bit more expensive, but the footfall that draws when there's a number of establishments together, like whatever they call it now, Downtown Disney Springs, whatever. That's sort of the mecca of it. You've got all of these shops, you've got all of this family entertainment stuff, you've got all of these restaurants, and they're all themed out, they're all decked out beautifully, everything's amazing. But the thing that malls have is that because Disney Springs is in the middle of all of the parks, you can build smaller attractions that are more focused towards certain demographics of people. So you can have your the younglings in like a Toontown experience and know that they're safe and know that they're having fun and know that they're going to be there for an hour. And the teenagers can go and do some teenage stuff on IPs that's like Marvel IPs and Harry Potter IPs. And then you've got the adults that can go and do, we have Taskmaster in the UK, which is like my favorite show. You can have adult experiences that aren't like dirty adult experiences. Like the humor's a little bit drier and it's a bit more fun. It's a bit more engaging. So we can just drop, like you can walk around the place dropping off the children and go and meet your mates and go and have a laugh and know that everyone's safe. And that by the time you walk back out of the place, you can pick up the kids on the way. They've had a great time. You've had a great time. No one's got bored. And everyone's spent loads of money.
Yes, which is the point of a shopping center.
I think actually for those examples, we have actually also a very good one here in Germany. And I know a lot of my US friends don't know this, but I don't know if you ever heard about Karl's, the kind of leisure farm whatsoever, because it's about strawberries. It's a mixed use.
Oh, yes.
It's retail, F&B, and attractions. It's such a great experience because the owner, I like the owner because he really wants to invest. He wants to push the envelope going forward. He literally puts attraction right in the middle of store displays where you can pick up some stuff, but then next to it you have like a drop tower where kids are already going on. But the philosophy is like, oh, the kids having fun, the adults are buying stuff and putting them in the basket. So I love this concept, and I know especially in Europe and Germany, this thing is rolling out. I'm actually also helping like a local client here with a concept like this, and it's really great. And this kind of market is growing a lot.
It's a Knott's Berry Farm, but in Germany, but it's a Knott's Berry Farm, like the 1970s version of Knott's Berry Farm, because Knott's Berry Farm was a farm. I mean, it's like the same thing, but you know, Knott's Berry Farm has become this huge park now, and that's on my bucket list of places to visit. Actually, that park in Germany. Sorry?
Both can go on my bucket list.
You've never been to Knott's Berry Farm?
No.
What? Just kidding.
Sven, we are losing your audio terribly at the moment. Don't know how well you can hear us, but we're not. Your microphone is having fun.
Yes.
But no, I've never been to Knott's Berry.
I cannot understand this. Do you know that Knott's Berry Farm is my favorite park. I grew up on Knott's Berry Farm. My dad's a baker. Every time we would go to Knott's Berry Farm, he would go talk to the bakers, and he would like go inside the store and go talk to the people that were working there. I mean, anyway, my dad talks with everyone. And we would come home with like, oh my God, a trunk full of Knott's Berry Farm jams and jellies and then, you know, when they started having more and more rides, it was so much more fun for us because it wasn't, you know, just shopping to get the jams. And oh my God, it's like the coolest park. Oh my God, I can't believe you've never been there.
Can you hear me right now again?
Yes.
Okay.
All's good.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
my microphone got very excited about this announcement, and was shocked that Chris didn't want to go or never went to Knott's Berry Farm. But let me tell you the secret. My first time was also 2019 when I first visit Knott's Berry Farm. But it's an exciting place. I know also from the history that it kind of grew up like this, and the same happening also here to the German places, which is pretty exciting for us because it's not only one farm, it's literally 5 at the moment, and like 2 more are announced. I mean, they're expanding like crazy right now.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my God, that's so awesome.
I think the last time I was on the West Coast, I did go into LAX. It was a week stopover, and I stayed. I was going from Mexico City, where I just finished a project, and I said, as opposed to doglegging through Florida, which I'm used to, and I know most of I know my way around Orlando and Miami specifically, and I was like, no, let's go. I want to do a different dogleg. So I said, that's the price that was paid by the client. Can you see if you can find me a cheaper flight that goes from there to there and then there to there a week later? So it's not a problem. Did that. And we were sat there like just in a bar in Koreatown. And I was like, we need to go and do something because this is going to get boring. But I've been to Disney. I know Disney. I've been to Disneyland plenty of times. Let's go do something different. And they went, let's just go down to San Diego. And I was like, sweet. I've never been to San Diego Zoo. It's on my bucket list. Absolutely. Let's do it. So I spoke to
San Diego Zoo is nice though.
So then we took the train down along the Pacific coast, which was gorgeous.
Nice.
We were supposed to be in San Diego for like 2 nights and then come back up. And we stayed for, I think, 4 in the end. I booked into using the Hilton points, booked into a Hilton, which happened to be the one next to the convention center, which I didn't know. I didn't look. I just booked the cheapest Hilton. And it did not work very well. The lobby was like, I've never seen so many people, and that stresses me out. Like, it's okay in Disney because you know when you see a big, or like a theme park, you see a big mass of people. It's either a show, so everyone's staying still, or there's a queue, and therefore there's a clear route. And walking into that mess of humans, I was like, no, I can't do this. We queued for an hour, got to reception desk, and I said, I'm sorry, I can't stay here. Is there another Hilton around? Because this is ridiculous. because I wanted to transfer my points and not lose them. And they said, "Oh, there's this one up," and I can't remember it was up near the SeaWorld. And because I had complained in that hotel, I got this ridiculous suite, like beachfront building to myself, like slept 10 people. They're just like, that's the only thing we've got available to give you, and because you're on a complaint, you can have it. So I'm like, I will now extend my stay at the same price that I've already paid for another 3 nights. And they're like, okay. I thought, yes. So I spent the next 3 days drunk on a beach in San Diego. It was lovely.
Well, that's a nice program too.
So I didn't go. No one suggested Knott's Berry, so we didn't go.
You have to go. So I'll take you next time. Next time we're in LA together, I will take you.
When's that gonna be?
2024?
2023. I'm going to LA with my friends. 2023. I'm spending 2032. No. 2023.
I'll be dead by then, Clara.
No, you won't.
Well,
I won't be.
Well, because after your South America trip, you wanted to go to the Middle East. So it's already an additional year. So it's already 2024, right?
No, but LA is home. So I always go back. I mean, in normal times, I go back once a year to LA, once a year to Florida for IAPA, and I try to go back once a year somewhere else to visit some other part of the US. But I try. Anyway, I did want to ask you one question. Yeah, that was what I wanted to ask you. If you could go back to your younger self and say something that you wish you would have known, what would you say?
Oof. Well, that's a difficult one now.
We like deep reaching.
Yes. Well, because so far all my wishes and things came true. So,
well, I'm dead jealous of that.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Maybe just to give myself a heads up that there's a pandemic coming in 2021, and I should prepare myself.
Whilst you're at it, do you want to bung yourself the next week's lottery numbers at the same time and make it a real nice conversation?
Yes.
How would you have prepared for the pandemic?
That's a good question, because all the way until, my stay at Orlando ended, of course, only with the reason that I had a work visa and, I had to return to Germany. So that was like the sad part. Otherwise, I would have stayed in Orlando because I really loved this place. For me, it felt like home. Well, I had my personal trainer, so shout out to Nick. I had my 2 parks, Universal and Disney in my backyard. So I was the happiest guy maybe on the planet, because somebody on a podcast asked me lately, so how did you, Sven, experienced 2020 or 2021? And I said, well, to be honest, I had the most wonderful time that I ever had. I had my annual passes to Disney. Of course, as Universal employee, I was able to go in. But oh boy, social distance, theme park, that's like a blessing. Magic Kingdom, like the gateway to hell for all the people pushing strollers. No, I'm just kidding. It's a wonderful park. But
Did you just say Magic Kingdom, the gateway to hell?
Not in the regard that it's the Magic Kingdom, but in regards of all the people that are there, because in the normal hours, it's really, really busy. And so I love this place. All the attractions, very, very good memories I have there. but like all the people pushing the strollers, or like the parents at 10 p.m. on Main Street, USA, looking to their children, most likely exhausted, hanging like diagonal in the stroller, but saying, "We are going now on Pirates of the Caribbean because we paid it for it. We will do it now." And so that's why that place is all the time so busy. But like during the pandemic, it was it was a wonderful experience for me. I had the time to take my time to explore those things. I mean, I didn't mind the mask so much, even if it was like very hot and humid in Orlando. But for me, like, it was a wonderful place. And even if I would have prepared myself and telling, oh, there's a pandemic coming, I think I still would have gone down this road, because the experience, first of all, that I gained also on the project that I was working for at Universal Creative, but also like the time spending there and kind of doing a lot of activities there was really wonderful to me. So it's something I would give a heads up in saying, well, Sven, at least you will have a wonderful year, even if it's pandemic. It will be like a rocky road afterwards, but even the rocky roads for me afterwards turned into at least a good path. And even when I returned, I started my freelance business, and since then I'm helping a lot of clients, supporting a lot of clients all around the globe. And also now I'm seeing like the requests are picking up, which is also wonderful, because our industry is bouncing back, and that's a wonderful feeling, actually, to look forward to the next age, that is, or the next, let me put it like this, the next 10 years that are ahead of us, because, well, there's like this 10-year kind of rule before the next crisis might occur. So I'm giving it now 10 years to prepare myself for the next crisis. I hope, of course, there's no crisis, but yeah, something from the history that we kind of learned is like every 10 years, it's kind of somebody is throwing a wrench into your motor, right? And kind of it's stopping a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to like work around all of those, ups and downs, and I think that this year was like this global down, and getting out of it is kind of, it's daunting. I mean, I went on my first vacation. I went to Martinique. And it was my first time taking a plane during this time, and wearing a mask all the time and going through all of the security. And it was kind of strange. I mean, it's strange to start thinking like, okay, we're going back to something that's kind of normal-ish, but not really. But you're hoping it so much, you want it so much to be normal.
We also got a happy hap pill from the United States and all those voting people in the United States as well. That's one thing that did happen that was really nice in the middle of all of it. But let's have no repeats.
Well, actually, just to kind of do a little bit of connection to this date, I was sitting on the plane during this specific date and flying over to Germany. I think it was the 7th of November. Yeah. So I just got the news here and there. So, and I think this is like when I landed in New York the first time and transitioned to my plane over to Germany.
Yeah, it is for me the good news of 2020. That's for sure.
So to curb off and finish off all of our wonderful serious thoughts and questions, Sven, so loving this industry as much as we know that you do, is there any even small thing that you'd change about it? Or what do you think that we're lacking as an industry?
Well, lacking not, and maybe this is kind of my mentality that I'm kind of also currently going forward with my kind of freelance studio called neoTED. I mean, there's a meaning behind this word, actually. I mean, neo kind of means a little bit going into the future, kind of new, and well, TED is most likely the shortcut for themed entertainment designer. But I choose it wisely because I really would like to don't want to look back. I want to look forward and really kind of putting out like innovative concepts and so on. So sometimes, and this is kind of criticism, very high level, is I think and I hope for the attraction industry, for example, I'm really looking for this one thing that kind of blows us away. And this, for me, the last moment we had this was like when Forbidden Journey opened in Universal Islands of Adventure, because this ride system was so unique and so mind-blowing that it blows your mind, that that it was unexpected, and since until today it's very popular. But then on the other side, like a lot of things kind of rolled out the same with another overlay, and sometimes wish that we are a little bit more brave, I would say, to kind of also to kind of do things maybe a little bit different and really try something, because this maybe go back to the first thing, or some of the first things that I said. We learn from mistakes, right? Sometimes you need to do a risk. I know to this risk there's a lot of cost, a lot of effort that comes, but sometimes I just wish that we can do the stuff. And I'm sure, like Disney Imagineering, R&D department, or even at Universal Creative, are already working on the future stuff. But I hope this also will kind of roll out soon. And I'm also spinning my head around. This kind of comes back to the question, what's going on your mind? Like where I said, it's exploding, because there are so many thoughts on me in terms of next attraction and so on. So yeah, I'm just wishing like to really be brave and try some new things, to be innovative. And of course, diversity is also a big thing for me in this industry, kind of getting the people around. Like when I was at Universal Studios or Universal Creative in Japan, we had a wonderful diverse team. I mean, those guys came from all over the place. It's like Netherlands, Switzerland, even Middle East, a lot of countries, of course, the US, so many people. And it was such a wonderful time to have this diverse team also working on this project. And well, we learned it's working, and it's wonderful, because each and every one have a different perspective to work on it. And I wish to see this also, at least for certain countries, a little bit more. I know there's a lot of regulations with immigrations here and there for different countries, but like with now being so global, we are having the opportunity to use this media to kind of work more online. I know for creative it's sometimes difficult. I also would say I would like to do kickoffs with teams and so on, and also work closely with a team, because this kind of, for me, bumps up my creativity, brings up new ideas, talking to a lot of team members. But I hope now, after this kind of pandemic or term, looking to the future, that our industry becomes much more diverse. We are working with a lot of different people on different places on the globe. So this is something that I also looking forward in the next few years.
I mean, the pandemic's changed the way that we all do business, clearly, and it's also proven to every single one of us that it can be done. And now, it used to be, we'll work with these teams that we know because we can work with them and they're close by, sort of thing. And this collaborative idea now is changing, because we're as we are now in 3 different countries, and quite often on a lot of the calls that we all take now, you've got a massively diverse group of people, and it's very rare. I mean, I don't think, other than an internal DGW call, I don't think I've been on one where it's only been like white British people. I don't think I've been on one. Like everyone's from all over, and it's interesting, and it gives new fields of thought, and it also makes you realize that you actually have access to people that think on your same level or like you do, and they're working in the same sort of way, but you've never been able to work with them. And it's like, now we could, this is a great idea. Everyone's used to sitting on a Zoom now. It's not awkward that you're bringing in someone from that country that's not actually sat in the room. Everyone's used to it. So we can all plan forward and diversify. And I hope it's going to be like a really nice, as you say, 10 years till the next problem. Unless Trump gets in again.
All right.
Things now.
I do want to ask one last serious question that I forgot. Sven, I did not warn you about this, and I'm sorry because I should have warned you about it, but I forgot, and this is my life. But I do want to ask you, this is a show about unsung heroes. And I'd like to ask you if you have a hero in your life that you have not thanked, or if you have not called out saying that they were your hero. And I'd like you to have the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? This person is my unsung hero.
Does it need to be one single person, or can it be?
You can have a few. You can have as many as you want, but also time constraint.
I prepared a list who I want to thank for this outstanding achievement. No, I'm just kidding. I think if you would ask a lot of people, they would say, "Oh yeah, Sven is a guy who would say the word thank you quite often." And I think it's in general now a shout out to all the people that I have been working in the past, who helped me on the projects, to supported me where I am. I mean, I could share some names right now. So this would be, for example, my friend George Walker that I talked about, like in Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, who trusted in me to bring this alive, even if I was like kind of the newbie, but we rocked it. And hopefully Mission Ferrari, the attraction, will prove it, what we have done. Then also a big shout out to the project teams over at Universal Japan, which was a great team to work with, because we have done a lot. And some people, for example, Rick Bloom, Steve Tatum, or Thierry Coop, actually, who I would think to kind of also support me with my Universal creative career, to also gave me the opportunity then also go over to Orlando, which was for me like the next big step. So there are a lot of people I really want to say thank you, which I most likely did in written and verbally. So thank you again for each and everyone who was part so far of my journey, and already thank you in advance to all the people that I will meet to work and collaborate together, because it will be an awesome ride.
That's gorgeous. I like that. I like saying thank you to unsung heroes. So officially thank you, Sven, because you are an unsung hero. All right, quick questions, fun questions. Are you ready?
Well, because we're on the hero chat, and this is still Unsung Heroes, and you are an unsung hero. So if you were a superhero, what superpower would you have?
To stretch time. Make a 24-hour day, 36-hour day, to submit everything on time.
Hit the pause button.
The real question is, what would you do with the extra hours?
Creating a nice work-life balance. No, but I'm just kidding. I mean, there's so much to do and enjoy. I mean, it doesn't need to be time, but yeah, maybe it should be more power in terms of being creative, but all together to share love and be creative in the team. That could be also a very nice superpower that I can see myself.
That's cool. I like that. All right. So speed fun questions. Are you ready? You got to answer fast. You got to answer fast.
There is no right answer. Answer them fast. It does it. If you want to explain why, then explain why. If you don't, then we'll just move on.
Yes. You ready, Sven?
Yes.
All right. Apples or oranges?
Apple.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Okay. Best sandwich?
Is that now the discussion we have what a sandwich is in terms of burger and so on? I know this from the past, so is that a trick question? No, I'm just kidding.
Not a trick question.
It's not a trick question.
Catching me out my own game.
Well, some sandwich with cheese. We don't have specific names here in Germany, so it's very unsexy. So sandwich with cheese.
Have you never had a sexy sandwich?
No.
I want to invent. All right, let's invent. What is in the sexy sandwich?
Cheese.
For me, cheese, yes. I'm German, meat, so sausage.
What kind of sausage, then?
Oh my God,
Some
you've lost me
bratwurst.
again now.
We've got bratwurst, we've got cheese,
and
so if we have a French cheese, and we have a bratwurst sausage from Germany. Does that mean I can put HP brown sauce from the UK in it?
Most likely. Hey, I'm open for any idea. This is what I learned also on my career path. You know, there's like, what's your behavior? And I'm kind of an ID, so I was a very big I. So I'm very take a lot of influences. So yeah, why not?
Put relish? Can we put relish in it?
As long as it's not touching the brown sauce.
There's brown sauce in it.
Yeah, HP brown sauce. We've got to have something British.
Yes.
How about beans?
Oh, beans. Yeah, we can put beans.
Good.
We are currently making the world's greatest breakfast sandwich.
Yes.
Because we've got a bratwurst and we've got cheese. If we got a cheeky egg in there, bit of beans.
Yes. Don't forget my relish.
Oh, your relish, that's going. I reckon that needs to go. And now, is the egg over easy, or is that going to burst? We don't want sunny side up. I think that's going to get too messy.
A sandwich is good when it just drips all over your fingers. That is the sign of a good sandwich.
But it also holds itself together as well. It doesn't structurally fail and the bread falls apart because it's too smushy. Okay. Dripping out is fine.
Yeah, it can slip out. That's actually the good part.
When it slips out, not when it slips in.
When it both.
Okay. Well, for me, actually, it's getting saved in my beard for the day.
You can save it for later and get one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
I'm normally like checking my snacks out here.
It's got a special food comb, meat comb. Did I miss a bit?
I mean, yes. I mean, maybe we should put up now a cooking show the next time. So, and we will do that.
On my YouTube channel, there is me drunk cooking quite a lot.
That sounds funny. I should check this one out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
That's terrible.
All right, next question. Yes, Sven, what do you own that you really should throw out?
A lot of clothing.
Okay.
Amen. I'm the same.
Well, I donate. I don't throw it out, but I donate, throw it out.
Yes. Okay. That's good. Your favorite smell?
would be Flight of Passage, the scent that you can smell during the ride.
Nice.
And I have it because you can buy the scent in Disney Springs. And so downstairs in my living room, it's Flight of Passage.
I'm dead jealous. I didn't know they sold that.
Oh my God. I did not know that they sold that either. Okay.
Who's going to IAPA in November?
I'm going.
Well, hopefully they
Right.
open up the border.
So we need to go. We need to go on a Disney Springs date where we go and buy the Flight of Passage fragrance and go and have a delicious sandwich and find a place that'll make it for us.
Yes.
Sure.
And cocktails.
Maybe we can ask ST or Morimoto. I don't know. There are so many places where I become friends with over the past few months. So yeah, we can ask. But just
Kelly says the Earl of
a
Sandwich.
commercial. But it's not a commercial. Besides the scents or the oil that you can purchase, you can also buy candles and all the other stuff, which gives you the whole Flight of Passage atmosphere. So they have the whole selection.
That's awesome. All right. Least favorite smell.
That's a difficult one. Most likely the moment in It's Tough to Be a Bug when this bug is farting.
You've worked in the Middle East, so surely without air conditioning, when everyone's working together, and a lot of the team working on the projects, and you're all drinking in the evenings, eating curries, and the local teams and the local labour are all eating curries. You can go into a control room, and I've genuinely walked into a control room in the Middle East and had tears just stream out of my eyes because the smell's been so bad.
Oh goodness.
No, doesn't remember. I mean, it's.
Well, we'll have to do a site for me together. Kelly said Charles de Gaulle Airport.
I was there in June when I came back from Martinique, and it's actually super clean and it's not stinky at all. I have to
clean it.
It's gotten better, guys. It's gotten better. Okay. All right. Next question. Right. If you had to listen to the same song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'm a big theme park music fan, and I most likely will go back to Pandora, but there's like one song, I think the Shaman Calls, whatever, which is so wonderful to kind of, how can I say, which kind of relax you, but I enjoy to listen to it because it calms me down, and I can listen for it in a loop the rest of my life.
Okay.
What would you
All
pick?
Right. Listen, what would I pick?
Yeah.
We lost Sven. That's okay, though. What would I pick? My song?
Yeah.
Probably Nina Simone. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free.
I don't even know that, ashamedly.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free.
Okay, yeah. I recognise the melody.
Soar to the sky and look down to the sea. It's beautiful.
We could end
So
up
I
with
love
50.
Nina Simone. So sorry, yes, I am singing on TETV. This is my singing bit.
I think that's an Unsung Heroes exclusive as well.
It is. I've never sung on this show. Are you serious? I've never like sung a tune
Not
on
properly,
this show?
because I know you can sing. So
Yeah, I'm surprised that I haven't sung anything before. Oh, goodness gracious.
maybe a little bit.
And he's back. Hello, Sven. Where did you go off to? This was
Well,
so weird.
I was listening to my song, and it put me up in another universe. So yeah.
All right, the speed questions are done.
Oh, so I've got one more question, then a hypothetical question, and then our final question.
Woo.
So, if you were to ride into battle on an animal, Sven, what would it be? And this can be mythical if needs be.
That's a difficult one. I mean, I have two. To be spontaneous, I right now have. Well, no, let's put it like this: I would ride on a T-Rex.
Epic! I love it.
Right?
And it needs no explanation.
It look like this. So.
Our first guest has actually brought the animal with which he would ride into battle. This is wonderful.
Big shout out to Rexy. He's like he's from Lakeland in Florida. So yeah, he's one of my friends, and yeah, doing a lot of crazy stuff. Anyway, so he will help me most likely.
And he definitely would as well. Or she.
Go on, honey.
Anyway, and my hypothetical question for you is, Sven, you must persuade the cast of Will and Grace to reunite and film one more episode. You have access to all the sets. They have to let you write the episode. You can't pay them for it because they have to do it because they believe in the project. And you also have to convince them to let you play the role of Grace. How are you going to do it?
The role of Grace. Is it my red beard why I have like red hair right now, or why do we have this?
I was trying to make it the most difficult of all the characters to try and replace. As a bearded man.
I could be Jake, right? Like jumping around. But anyway, I think just coming back to the topic, I mean, we have Pride Month, right? So I think I would convince them with the opportunity to give a big shout out to our community, a message to really say that everyone is the same. I hope this works, of course. I mean, then I need to play Grace. And luckily, well, not luckily, but I mean, there was a big fight behind the scenes, right, with the Karen character, actually. So maybe I don't need to come on stage too many times for that. I don't know. I don't know. Or I'm traveling. There were some episodes where she was traveling.
You could lose Karen actress, and you could turn everyone by one. So then Grace would play Will, and then you all go round one to make it really fucking confusing. But then everyone would be taking the piss out of each other, as they do anyway.
Goodness.
It would be pandemonium. But like that last season that they did, where it was all live and they just went for it, it was the funniest season of it I ever saw.
I would say this even could work because there was one series, and this was like dedicated to the actress, and I don't know her name, who played Rosario, the maid from Karen, who unfortunately died. But then they kind of made her appear again in one of the episodes where kind of Jack getting hit by some lightning and kind of step in the role of Rosario. So I can imagine all the cast of Will and Grace standing in Grace's design studio, and kind of, it's maybe a flashback from the past or into the future, and everybody steps in their own role, in the different role of the character, and it could work. I don't know. I mean, my mind is going crazy right now, so Yes.
I mean, I
We've
was
just planted another thing for him to think about.
But it's a hypothetical question. It's got to have some thought process behind it. I accept your thought process. I think it's going to be a smash hit. So
I do too.
Let's just get this done. I don't know how. I'm not in that industry.
Let's write to the producers.
They should get the message out there, like out loud and proud. So
yeah.
Out loud that brings us then finally to the one question that we make sure that we ask every single guest that comes on Unsung Heroes. If you had to wear a big hat or a little hat for the rest of your life and you could never explain why you were wearing that hat or who asked you to or the rest of it, which hat would you pick? The little hat or the big hat?
So that's a hypothetically question. I would go for the top hat because
that's another big hat. I don't know what the tally is. I need to do a tally. I know.
I think Sarah's done a tally.
I think the big hat always wins. I think I'm going to have to get a new little hat. This is
Kelly's saying only 2 people have chosen the little hat.
Justin took the little hat, and I can't remember who else took the little hat.
I did, but I don't know if I count in those 2.
Well, I unfortunately have a very big hat. As it is. Sorry, I think you're right. It probably was Celine. Well, then on that note, I'm all out of questions, Cynthia. Do you have any more questions?
We are. Sven, we are at the end of our show. It's been so cool to have you. Thank you so much for being our unsung hero this week. You were such a wonderful guest to have, and it was great to listen to you and to talk to you. Our audience, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, follow, subscribe, slightly fondle, slightly press, whatever you want to do with your buttons. Go ahead and do it on TUTV. Thank you, Sven, again.
And where can we find you, Sven?
Yes.
Physically in Germany. Online, you can check me out on LinkedIn. I have a profile. I even have Instagram, so just put in Riegel Design. So I'm kind of putting out a lot of inspirational pictures from theme parks, but also architecture that I find. And then, of course, my little freelance design studio, neoTED, which would be www.neo-ted.com. Well, it's just a landing page, but you find my contacts there if you want to get in touch. And also thank you, first of all, for having me here, but also anyone who has any questions, I'm always open to answer them. So if you want to write me having any questions in how to get into the industry or this or that or whatsoever, you are more than welcome to kind of contact me, and I would be happy to help each and every one.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris, for being my buddy on this show, as usual. I love you, honey bunch. And everyone, make the world a better place. Go hug a hero. Bye.
Bye.